The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Closing time for Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton. Come on, Case. How about that? Well, it's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and this is a serious story that we followed for months with our great friend from WGN-TV, Ben Bradley, Investigates, and he's been on the show several times. He actually said, I just want to come in on the show and, talk about Pearl Jam.
Not the interview that he did?
Yeah, but instead he has to keep doing these reports, keeps getting doors slammed in his face, the corruption going on down there. And finally, the Illinois Attorney General wants to know what's going on with the money. And we've talked about this extensively on the show. Go back to the podcast, the Brian and Kenzie podcast, to catch up on a lot of it. But I think people in the South Burbs know what's going on down there. Is that Tiffany Henyard, the mayor, is, all these allegations of abusing the funds, going and flying and staying at the Four Seasons in other cities, like tens of thousands of dollars used for these trips, and no one has any accountability. It just keeps going. And she's actually eliminated a lot of her rivals. Well, the update is that residents were denied public comment in a board meeting. Now, you go to these board meetings, and that's pretty much what they do. They open it up for people to actually speak. And you, being in real estate, probably have been to some of these things.
No, but I've seen them on TV.
But she understands what a meeting is.
I understand it, yeah.
Okay, well, Kara over there has not been to a board meeting, but we'll be to one soon. And I may go to the next one because I want to get up and speak. I want to get up and speak at this thing. Because she denied that, and that may be illegal, actually, what they did in that meeting.
Yeah, I thought it's a public forum.
Yeah, it was last Tuesday night, and they basically a lot of steps to do that. The sign outside the Thornton Township office in South Holland read, "Welcome to Thornton Township. People working with people." But when the residents showed up to speak at the public board meeting, they said, in fact, there was security there. When I arrived, security was here. One person said he was standing at the bottom of the stairs, preventing anybody from going up to the boardroom.
Wait, he's a bouncer? What the hell?
I'm sorry you're not on the list.
Hey, I'm sorry. We're on a tight ship here.
Yeah. And I asked him if the meeting was downstairs. He replied, yes. So I sent him to the wrong place. Yeah, I mean,
they're in a Looney Tunes cartoon.
It's unbelievable. And this is a former township employee, by the way, and a Henyard critic who was sent this way. And basically, I don't think anybody got into the meeting to actually say something negative about her.
Did they send them downstairs and then catch them in a giant net? I don't understand what the next step was.
Yeah.
There was a trap door and they went to China. Dalton's a wormhole to China.
So, Brian, you said if you had the opportunity, you'd like to go to the next meeting and speak to Tiffany Henyard, right?
Yes.
Okay, we've been talking about this story since November. It's
right.
ongoing. It's 4 months deep. It's the one thing that I get hit up the most about from our listeners. So let's do an exercise here.
Oh, okay.
Imagine, look at me. Look at me.
Yes.
Imagine me as Tiffany Henyard, okay?
Yes.
Look into my eyes and see me. What do you want to say to her if you get the opportunity to confront her in a community board meeting?
Well, first there'd be some kind of gavel saying, Brian Haddad wishes to speak. Yes, I do. Thank you. Ms. Mayor, how do I get in your inner circle and get all these free steaks?
Yeah.
Because I think I can help. I'm good at PR. And Kara, I don't know if you've heard this audio, but this was the audio when Ben Bradley, our guy, went to try to interview people and kept getting doors slammed in his face. And this is one of the trustees. Again, you're supposed to talk to your constituents and the news about things. And this was his response when Ben Bradley went up to him.
Trustee Jerry Jones was on that first-class trip to New York.
Still don't have a comment.
Sir, you're a trustee.
But once again, I don't have a comment.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Bring me the horizon on Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew. Sports.
Well, the Blackhawks got a surprise last night. Connor Bedard, who's been out 14 straight games with a broken jaw from a cheap shot. Terrible cheap shot.
Yeah, it pisses me off.
Yeah, Kara gets fired up about hockey. Her son's your hockey mom.
Somebody broke my son's jaw. He'd have a broken jaw, too.
Oh.
I'd be pretty angry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't you want somebody like Kara fighting for you?
Yes.
She should be in D.C. fighting for the citizens. She's tough.
I was going to say being assistant coach on the Blackhawks.
That works, too. Hey,
I think I'd rather have her there.
both need help.
Yeah. Say it again in that mom voice.
Somebody messes with my son and breaks his jaw, you're getting your jaw broken, too, mister.
She was talking to a 7-year-old there. Oh, man. And bless you for going through being a hockey mom with your son who's now in his 20s. But, all the money and hockey's so expensive.
He'd
And the
be
travel.
going to such a nice college if he wouldn't have played hockey. Just for the money I spent.
Well, there you go. But the Blackhawks got Connor Bedard back. And proven to be one of the best players in the league in his first year at 18 years old.
He's so much fun to watch.
Oh, he really is.
Yeah.
And just the ratings he brings, and it's great to have him back. Now, they lost last night. He got an assist, but it kind of leads up to Patrick Kane returning a week from Sunday to the Madhouse, and that'll be the Red Wings, Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Patrick Kane coming home, who was the same situation.
Yep.
I don't know, 15, 17 years ago when he was 18 years old and came to the Blackhawks. And then you get Connor Bedard back, couple games of warm-up games to get there. But it's got to be weird to go back with that kind of jaw injury. I say this because my jaw clicks when I chew gum, or when I make out with Megan. And just to think about getting hit in that jaw again, does it mentally affect him? Hockey players are built different, though. They're not like me. You know, I mean,
No, they are not.
they can forget injuries very easily.
Like, I'm surprised he didn't play with a broken jaw. Like, hockey players just, they play. It amazes me.
Well, I think he was supposed to be out another couple weeks
Yeah, he
at
was
least.
supposed to come back on that Friday. That was what they said.
That's a good point. They did say surprise return, like it was Stone Cold Steve Austin or something. That it was like an unplanned entrance. You never hear surprise return in sports anywhere.
Especially hockey.
Yeah, that doesn't make it, like, there's equipment. They need to make sure he's got a jersey. They need to make sure he's got his skates. It's very odd to say surprise return.
Well, if it's at the UC, his stuff is there if he's not playing. It's not like they go buy it.
You know, Kara, great point. He doesn't take home his laundry after every game. That's a very good point.
They packed up everything and threw it on the street. I mean, Lonzo Ball has been with the Bulls for over 3 years. He hasn't played in over 2 because his knee hurts. Now, I'm not shaming him.
Yeah, you are.
Well, okay, I am, because they did surgery and they can't figure out what's wrong, and he still says it hurts. Now,
Yeah, but for him to say it hurts, it probably really hurts, you know?
I don't think so. He's got again, see, unlike hockey, you get a full guaranteed contract in the NBA, $74 million. He's sitting there on the bench for 2 years.
Chilling.
I might say things hurt too if I get just paid
Exactly.
$74 million to sit on a bench.
Thanks for proving my point, Kara. Speaking of the Bulls, no one in the All-Star weekend hasn't happened in 43 years. Not one person in the three-point shoot contest, and any of the skills competitions, in the game, in the rookie game, nothing. That right there tells me that you should trade the entire team except for Kobe White. You should have done that at the trade deadline. They didn't.
Well, I would assume who had a good game recently, so let's keep him too.
He did have a good game.
Yeah.
And he's a local boy, so
Exactly.
keep him.
He's one of our guys.
Keep Ayo, keep Kobe. I mean, there was talk that LeBron was in play to go to the Warriors.
Oh, yes.
There was. They
I thought
actually
you meant the Bulls. I was like, no, there wasn't.
Well, I'm saying if LeBron would have went to the Warriors, why wouldn't they have made him a massive deal to come here?
Because the Warriors have better assets than we do.
I understand that, but I mean, also money.
Also, it's cold here. LeBron doesn't want to come here.
He grew up in Cleveland.
I know that he lives in Los Angeles
We
for a
have
reason.
heat in the winter. It's not like
Yeah, Case. We're not playing outside. Caitlin Clark broke the NCAA women's scoring record yesterday. I've really been following her story for the last couple of years. And it's, if you don't watch women's college basketball, it's electric, in the words of Travis Kelce. And here she was doing it last night with a shot.
Here comes Clark. How will she go for history?
Oh, hear that net side?
I know,
From
that's
the
good
logo,
stuff.
the all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball.
was that a 3-pointer?
It was, Kara, it was from half court.
Oh wow.
She shot that thing at the logo, she says there. One more time. Listen to it hit the net, the rip.
How will she go for history?
Almost sounded like a cash register.
It kind of was.
That's
I mean,
horrible.
she should be getting endorsements now.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
okay. She's doing okay.
She makes over $1 million a year already in the NIL deals with college
Well,
players.
compared to the NBA, though, that's not so good.
But
Yeah.
the WNBA, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, sadly, they don't make the kind of money
Right.
NBA players
No.
make. So she might stay another year because she's still making good money. She'll make that in the WNBA probably. I think the average salary is a couple $100,000 a year in the WNBA. But she's making that in college. She'll still get that endorsement money when she gets to the WNBA because they'll give it to her. But she can just still stay in college, go to keg parties, and still make that $1 million. Less stress.
I would like her to go to the WNBA this year because the Indiana Fever won their draft lottery, and as somebody that grew up in Indiana, I would like to have Caitlin Clark in Indianapolis playing basketball.
It's very
so-
selfish of you.
Well, I stand by my statements. It would be nice for the Fever to feel hot for once.
Oh,
Ooh, nice line.
Thank you. Look at it. I'm like Stuart Scott over here.
also, she scored 49 points last night, by the way, too.
Wow.
And to be clear, Brian is right. She did make that shot basically from half court. She didn't need to. It's not like time was expiring.
Right.
She just dribbled the ball up and launched it, and it made that sound.
The score
Wow.
was 8-6. She could have done anything she wanted. And then she scored 49 more points or whatever it was
and
at
had
that point.
13 assists. She was responsible for 70 points last night.
She's
Nice.
ridiculous. She's ridiculous. Finally, I understand we have breaking news about former White Sox or free agent White Sox player Tim Anderson.
Indeed, Ken Rosenthal, the Walter Cronkite of baseball,
Absolutely.
has reported that the Miami Marlins have made Tim Anderson an offer. So if you're going, oh, that's odd, pitchers and catchers reported yesterday, baseball season starts in a month and a half, you would be correct. Tim Anderson does not have a baseball team right now.
Isn't that incredible for all the hope and dreams of the South Side of Tim Anderson?
Brian, he was on the USA World Baseball Classic team 1 year ago, and he proceeded to hit 245 and doubled his strikeouts in the 2023 season. Couldn't have been worse. I loved Tim for years. I'm glad to see him go now, though. But Miami, for his own sake, think about all the times we've been with Kenzie, and we've talked about how Tim Anderson has slept around, and he has kids with multiple women, and he doesn't seem like maybe that much of an upstanding citizen off the field. You're going to send him to Miami? He's going to be even worse.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and it's time for the weekend Q101. Stuff going on in and around Chicagoland that you may not be aware of. And Kara Caribou's here, too, and lives in the Oak Park area. So I'm curious if you bring something to the table that we don't always know, because Kenzie lives out in Elgin and always hear a lot of that. We want to cover the entire listening area. We reach 100 miles in every direction. That's just over the air. Of course, you can listen to us on the app, on the website, stream us anywhere you get your, our podcast later on. You can do that with the Brian and Kenzie podcast. So we reach you, globally.
Rensselaer, Kenosha. Where else are we on the outskirts, Brian? I love when you list these off.
I like to go up to Gurnee because I like Six Flags. I used to like that. I love to get out to a place I have dreamed of living someday, and I just don't know if it'll ever happen, is St. Charles. It's just beautiful rolling hills out there.
Yeah, and Geneva. Geneva's beautiful, that cute little town, the downtown area. I love it.
Yeah, so cute. And if we go to the south side.
So cute.
So cute. We haven't met anybody. Is it Orland Park where no one's been born, or Tinley Park?
Tinley Park. No, trust me, I know people born in Orland Park.
Yeah, we were not sure if anybody's ever been born and bred in Tinley Park.
Seriously?
People just end up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one's from Tinley.
I'm not saying it's a bad place. I'm just saying
I love it.
There's just no homegrown Tinley Parkians.
And if they are, they were conceived on the lawn
Yes.
at the Tinley Park concert venue.
Plenty conceived on the lawn.
Ozfest really made a lot of babies.
They had to stop Ozfest because of the population explosion. People don't know that. That's why it stopped. All right, so let's get into this. Things going on in and around Chicago. We always start with Case with the music stuff.
Yeah. So next week is the week that I feel like concerts are back in Chicago on like an unbelievable basis. There's a ton of shows next week, but for this weekend, we've got 10,000 Maniacs. They are at City Winery tonight and tomorrow.
Nice.
I can tell you, if you really like the band, City Winery is a place in the West Loop.
There's no bad seat.
There's no bad seat. Yeah. It's intimate. It's a little, what was awkward for me is I went to see a guitar player there once when Megan was out of town, and I went by myself. Mm-hmm. And I sat next to another guy who was a nerd like me about guitarists, and we could have ordered food while you were in there. But I felt awkward, like then people were going to think me and him are on a date.
Oh, God forbid. He was probably a good-looking guy. You would have been lucky.
Better looking than me. So I didn't order food because I don't know, got in my head about it. And then I left there starving.
Yeah, the food, too. Oh.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
The food,
Did you disrupt the guitars with your stomach rumbling?
Oh, I kept looking at him going, like, let's go. We don't need an encore here. Let's get out of here. I got to stop at Wendy's on the way home. Anyway, there you go.
10,000 Maniacs, they did 3 shows. They're doing one. They did one last night, and then tonight and tomorrow they're at City Winery. And then the big one that I want to hit on here is Laura Jane Grace, the former front woman of Against Me. Mm-hmm. She is at Sleeping Village tonight for an album release show. She put out an album today called Hole in My Head that is excellent. And Laura Jane was here earlier this week. She hung out with myself, she hung out with Brian, and hung out with Brian Phillips. A lot of that stuff is now on Q101's YouTube channel. So she did a first listen.
Yes, I watched it yesterday. It was great.
Which normally Lauren does, and it's her reactions to new songs. But Laura Jane did a first listen to the new Pearl Jam song, Dark Matter. It is awesome.
Yeah.
Go watch that video. Pearl Jam themselves shared it. It is excellent.
Oh, sweet.
Yes, she did an interview with Brian and then played a few songs in studio like Shinedown did this past summer. Those are up on YouTube now. And then Monday morning at this time, my interview with her for my podcast, A Case For with Laura Jane Grace. That will be up on Q101's YouTube channel as well.
We had a great time. She's amazing.
She's awesome. She spent the whole day with us. She was fantastic.
That's so cool.
Go devour those interviews and her first listen. They were awesome. So she's tonight at Sleeping Village. That show is sold out, but maybe you can jump somebody for their tickets or something. I don't know.
Jump somebody?
Maybe don't do that. Maybe it's a digital ticket. There's nothing good there.
Oh, God.
But it's going to be a good show.
Maybe stop by the venue and ask nicely.
Ask nicely,
Yes.
say please and thank you.
Yeah. Can I sneak in here? Did everybody show up? I'll pay to go. Maybe
Yes.
try that
That
method.
would be a much better idea than the one I had.
Right. Okay.
That's what we've got going on this week.
The weekend Q101. Kara, what do you got? What are you interested in?
There's a lot of Valentine's Day parties this weekend because it fell on a Wednesday this year. So,
Really?
yeah, at the Hideout, which is one of my favorite places to go.
Yeah.
They are having a makeout party tonight and tomorrow.
You like making out?
They bill it as celebrating oral intercourse. But it's AURAL, not the kind you may be thinking.
And you're thinking.
Yeah. But they set it up like they make a little love nest. Looks like a prom, like where you'd be kissing. Like, it's cute.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's at the Hideout tonight?
Uh-huh, and tomorrow.
Do you have to buy a ticket in advance, or is it just kind of walk
It's $20.
up?
I don't
Okay.
know. You might be able to just buy it there.
All right.
That level of public intimacy would make me uncomfortable.
Yeah. Especially if I go there solo and then I'm suddenly making out. Maybe in my head, I'm like, maybe you're going with a partner there, but maybe not. That maybe it's just a party where you randomly
maybe it's
make
a
out with
mixer.
people.
Yeah.
So make out with strangers is what they're saying.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I'm all in. Well, listen, I'm going to do something different. I've never done this before for the weekend Q101. I always give you something, I'm passionate about, as we all do, about make sure you get out this weekend. I found this happening tonight. It's called Emo Kids Live Emo Night Tour. Now, Emo Kids are a band, okay? Here's what the billing says on Eventbrite. Emo Kids is the best emo cover band around. And what separates them is their dedication to not only play as close album perfect as possible, but also bringing the intense energy from which this music was created, like My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, Taking Back Sunday, the All-American Rejects, Blink-182, and so on. So they're playing over at Brower House in Lombard.
Oh, love that place.
Yes.
Did you say Lombard?
I said-
Lombard.
Did I say Lombard?
It sounded like it.
Sorry.
You kind of did a Timberwolves thing there.
Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brower House in Lombard. It's on Rellring Road. So go check it out. Now, I want someone to go and then call up Monday and tell me if it was really good.
You don't want to go yourself and experience it.
I've got a baby. I've got daycare at 5 to pick her up from, and I'm not as fun as I used to be.
Correct.
I mean, it's true. I used to go out 7 nights a week. I used to never stay home. And now that I have a kid, I have to spend that quality time with Harper.
And you're shockingly fun,
I can be really fun.
but you're not as fun as you used to be.
It's still there because babysitting is $25 an hour now.
Right.
So
Well, when she gets a little older, you can bring her. I took my daughter to see Roger Waters when she was 3.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely. She was great. People who are all stoned go, wow, man, look at that little girl. Like, it was it was great.
She's floating. It's amazing. So listen, maybe somebody's already planning on going, but it shows that doors are at 7, shows at 8. I'm sure they're doing a couple sets. I don't know anything about this band, but I want someone to go in that neighborhood in Lombard and then come back and I'll put you on the air on Monday or on Tuesday. Actually, we'll do because President's Day.
That's right.
So
Nobody panic.
Nobody panic.
We'll be back Tuesday.
We'll be back Tuesday and do that. So I went to their website. They take song submissions. The emo kids do.
Oh, should we submit a song real quick?
So their list right now has things like "Damn It," Blink-182. How about "Dear Maria, Count Me In," All Time Low. Cute Without the Eve, Taking Back Sunday.
That's got to be a really hard song to cover. I'd like to see them do that.
That's what I mean. Some of these songs are like Buried Alive, Senses Fail, Buried Myself Alive, The Used. These are all people that have requested these songs. I just want to know, they say, don't see your song? Submit one here. So what emo song should we submit for the band to do tonight? They got to learn it by tonight.
I've got one. Do you have one?
Well, you go ahead first.
I'd like to hear them do Miss Murder by AFI.
That's a good one. I want that one.
You can submit it on our behalf.
Okay. I want them to see, I don't know if, I would call this in the emo world, even though it's more screamo, Finch, What It Is to Burn.
I would love to see that as well.
That's a hard one. Do you know that song, Kara?
No, I don't.
Oh, my gosh. The scream, it's so good. Finch. They played the House of Blues, I think, last year.
Yeah, they did.
I thought they were
reunion.
gone.
No, they're coming back in April with a bunch of other emo bands.
Okay. So someone goes to the show tonight, call back Tuesday, let us know how it was. I might do this every week for a while. Is pick some event going on. It's in Lombard again. Emo kids playing at Brower House. Great bar, great venue. And go over there and then let us know Tuesday what happened.
So remind me again, the band is Emo Kids?
Yep.
Brower House and Lombard.
Yep.
Somebody go there. Call us on Tuesday morning.
Yep. Call in and let us know how it was. No matter what your review is. You know?
Hold on. Somebody just texted at 630. They said, "Is that show still on?" I'm pretty sure Brower House and Lombard closed down.
What?
No.
Maybe that's false info, but
Yeah.
I don't want to send people to an abandoned building.
I'm gonna have to Google.
The location says B House Live, and that's Brower House, right? Yeah. Oh my God! Am I getting?
I just
It's
Googled.
open.
It was 2008 they had a fire. That's what I just found out.
Okay, so we're good. Are we good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
You can go to Brower House. There's a building standing and it's operational.
Holy cow! About had a heart attack. All right, so go do that. It's great. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. What are you taking away from today's show? Actually, it's the whole week with Kara. So the whole week, a takeaway from the entire week of shows. 312-591-8300. Text in your takeaway right now.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And it's a little sad this week because it's Kara's last day as filling in for Kenzie's maternity leave. Now, she'll be back, though. I have a special guest next week that I just want to wait till I talk to him first to make sure he's going to 100% come in.
He's about 90% confirmed.
He's like 90%. So Tuesday through Friday, I have another special guest while Kenzie's on maternity leave.
Cool.
But we'll bring you back.
Good. I want to come back.
Because, a couple, I don't know how many more weeks it'll be. And Kenzie will be checking in soon from home. We got a lot of plans for that. But also some other huge special guests coming in.
Wait, I'm not huge?
Have I promoted you?
Yes, you have.
So monstrous
You
that
have.
you wanted me to be your agent.
You're right. You're right.
Kara is a preeminent rock jock of Chicago, a legend, a historian, a scholar,
and a friend.
and a friend.
Thank you.
More importantly.
Yes. You hear all that, Joey?
I heard all of that. That was very sweet.
Because you're new, you're young in the business, and
Yeah.
Kara's been around the block here and seen everything.
You calling her old?
No,
I know. Like, what do you mean I've been around the block?
No,
She just keeps going around the block.
he's worked at these legendary stations, the Loop, on the old Rock 103.5, that's where I met her first, and we've
Yeah.
known each other for so long, so
Yeah.
many years.
Yeah.
Legend.
That was a fun station.
That was.
Not that this isn't. This is great.
now who's calling out something? All right. We'll see what Joey's got coming up in a minute. Filling in for Lauren. But takeaways, Case, what do you got?
Our friend Mitchell checked in. He said, takeaway, Brian saw wolves this morning. They weren't coyotes. They weren't orange.
Thank you. On the way in today, 2 wolves crossed my car, ran in front of my car.
2 wolves.
And the north side, right by Wrigley Field.
That's crazy.
I know. And then people say, oh, you probably saw dogs or something. I go, no, I did not see dogs. I saw wolves.
Brian saw 2 chihuahuas crossing the street.
Karen, what do you got for a takeaway?
Angelica in Chicago says, "Don't let my kids join hockey because I'll never financially recover." That's not wrong. Yeah.
If Kara said anything this week, it's
Yeah.
about being a hockey mom and
Right.
how tough it was.
Although I did get promised for my son, I'd get glass tickets on the ice when he made the NHL. So it'll come back
Was there a moment you thought he was going to make the NHL and then take care of you?
if he's listening. Of course.
A mother's love.
Yeah.
Just didn't have that slap shot. Just couldn't do it.
Skating is so challenging.
Finally, one from Hillary, 773, and this one touched my heart. So I really felt like I had to read this one. It says, my takeaway isn't related to anything in particular from the show this week, I guess. So what it is you guys are truly the advocates for the local economy and goings-on, more so than any other radio station in Chicago right now. It's really refreshing to turn on the radio and actually hear about my area. It makes it even more personal than just the interactions that you do with us all the time. Thank you, Hillary.
Sweet.
It's really nice. It's really nice.
I'm glad we paid her to say that.
Yeah, I don't like celebrating.
No, celebration leads to doom, as Brian famously says.
Absolutely, I just don't, and I need therapy for that.
Mm-hmm.
And
And other things.
other things too, but I don't know if I'll ever get it, but that's where I'm at. It's just how I was raised, is don't celebrate much, and then everything is good.
Right.
If you celebrate,
Yeah.
something bad's going to come. But that was really nice, Hillary. It touched my heart. I appreciate you listening every morning, so thank you.
That's our goal. I mean, that's really nice to hear. So.
It is exactly what we want to be. We want to be your local source to everything, and we love talking to you guys about stuff going on wherever you live in our entire 100-mile radius listening area. Now, Joey Dominic, what you got coming up?
It's the last day to give away GTFO. Chance to qualify to see the Killers in Las Vegas. $100 Visa gift card.
Yep.
And just going to talk about some fun stuff.
Okay, that's cool.
There's a documentary coming out about a band that everybody loves to hate. We'll talk about that later.
Ooh. And what time are you doing the GTFO?
11 a.m.
So 11 a.m., put that in your phone right now so you know that.
Stretch out your thumbs.
And then, so tomorrow morning, 8 to 10, the Brian and Kenzie throwbacks. And about the podcast, what do you got?
All weekend long, if you miss us, the Brian and Kenzie podcast is there for you. This morning, we talked about how Brian saw wolves and not coyotes.
Right.
A huge debate that Brian and I are going to be on the right side of history about. We also talked about how Brian and I were late bloomers and Kara was not. Because Kara's very cool.
Or slutty, whichever.
And then, of course, we celebrated the 19th birthday of YouTube, and I made the impassioned argument that YouTube is the best invention of the last 50 years. Better than birth control, better than ATMs, better than anything we've come across since penicillin.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Joey. I appreciate that.
What do you get, an infection?
Yeah.
And then you'll want that
Look up how to treat it on YouTube.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.